Hello, my name is Michelle. I'm an anti-bullying campaigner. I'd like to share with you today some poetry written by a bullied child to give you an insight to the suffering bullied children go through. If you are a bullied child or a parent of a bullied child, please subscribe to us today and back the campaign for change. If anything you hear in what I read reflects your experiences also. The poem is called I Look in the Mirror. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A frightened, vulnerable human being staring back at me. Ginger nut, packy, specky four eyes, a few names they love to use, living constantly in denial of pain inflicted on victims abused. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A haunted, tortured soul in pain staring back at me. Do head teachers and staff care when they hear of your pain? Go away, don't be a mummy's boy, and I'm a punch bag once again. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A human soul crushed by bullying staring back at me. Help is there when you need it. All you need do is ask. Parents attend governors' meetings to sort it out at last. No. For the victim it brings more trouble for daring to speak out. The governors all support the school's action so far. It lends the head teacher's cruel stance more clout. I look again in the mirror, and what now do I see? A lonely, isolated punchbag staring vacantly at me. Do you let them crush you? Do you have the courage to fight back? Only you can feel the fear and the pain, the support of others you lack. Always worked hard for your school, tried your very best. Excellent school reports always, better results than the rest. I look again in the mirror, and what do I see? A wiser, somewhat stronger boy staring back at me. Yes, the system has let me down, head teacher, governors too. I'm not going to crumble, put up and shut up, show my weakness, no, that won't do. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A tearful, haunted soul in pain staring vacantly at me. Yes, I have stared death in the face, they've really destroyed me. Yet I cannot walk away and let the education authority ignore me. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A young life with few options staring vacantly at me. Why do bullies get such pleasure in inflicting on others such pain? Because they themselves are inadequate, they turn on others again and again. So I look in the mirror, what now do I see? A boy determined others will hear my voice, staring back at me. So I won't move home nor school nor run away, yet live to fight another day. I'll stand firm against the bullies, though the pace of progress is slow. I'll stand firm to fight for justice for the many victims I know. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A boy who came back from the brink staring back at me. I've come through the fear, the darkness, such tearful sleepless nights. I'm glad I found my courage to stand up for my rights. I look in the mirror now, and what do I see? A bright young lad, as proud as he can be. Through suffering, yes, I've made it, in my future a brand new start. In my past lies painful memories of my crushed once broken heart. I look in the mirror, and what now do I see? There's thousands more victims out there, needing help like me. So friends, when you look in the mirror, it's not fatso, freckle-faced nigger you see. You are a human being with a broken heart, suffering pain of bullying like me. So please don't let them crush you. Live to fight your corner, stand up and say, it's the bullies who are inadequate. We the victims will win our day. You are not alone. I am your friend. That poem was written by a 10-year-old, 8 years ago. Whilst the ordeal at that time was believed to be over, it clearly wasn't. It continued. What I'd like to see happen in this country is for us to have a government and for our ministers to meet with us and discuss the issues involving bullying in our schools and the way it's not being dealt with right now. The violence on our streets comes from behaviour that takes place in school that goes unpunished. When a gang of bullies attack a victim, they're cowards, they're spineless people who basically enjoy the fear they instill in the victim. If there was a punishment and they were known to be on the receiving end of punishment for their behaviour and to be held accountable for what they are doing to the lives of others. It's only then, when we admit a problem exists in our schools and in our society, that we will then turn our country round from broken Britain. Right now, we have many children diagnosed with anxiety illness. The symptoms are horrific, and when a child is diagnosed with anxiety illness, I'll just explain what that means. The child's immune system begins attacking the body and presents the most horrendous symptoms, which can include blindness and paralysis. That's just to name a couple. The rest are even worse. I would like to see an end to children being given medication affecting the functioning of their major organs. Strong drugs like amitriptyline. We're doping children out just to get them into school. To me, this is the most vile abuse of a healthy young child in the name of inclusion for all. Inclusion of the bully and the violence is exclusion of the victim. I did ask for a meeting with a government minister earlier this year, and I was promised one if I prove that legal aid has been changed. And I got a letter proving that to be the case, which is denying children protection in the law now. I'm even having children telling me that on truancy charges they're being denied legal aid to protect themselves against that when they're self-harming children. Yet we have a government minister reported here to lock children in schools to protect them from the dangers of eating chips. There's no wonder Michelle's campaign hasn't been taken seriously so far. If you believe in any of the issues I'm raising here, and you want to see the campaign for change grow in strength, and you want to support us in getting action taken to see an end to self-harming suicidal children because of bullies, let's stop the culture in Britain of children killing children. But this doesn't just start when they leave the school gates. This begins in school. It begins when they continue to be allowed to get away with bad behaviour against other children. Please subscribe today. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.